Police batons, tear gas and even beating on heads with fists. This is how the 13th of December coalition's subordinate police force treated protesting farmers. The farmers will not let go. Ladies and gentlemen, the farmers will not let go. That's why they won't let go, because they know what this will end for them. This is simply the end of Polish agriculture, and let us reach as many people as possible. President Andrzej Duda came to their defense. I look at this with great indignation, between you and me, to say the least, because I think it's wicked to treat hard-working people, desperate people like farmers, in this way. The farmers are protesting Green Deal restrictions that drastically raise the cost of farming while opening the EU market to agricultural products from Ukraine, which are not subject to any environmental restrictions. As they say, police brutality will not frighten them, on the contrary. And what will this Tusk do for us? Probably nothing. He's just going to wait, and I don't know if even more blood has to be shed than in Warsaw for us to win something. Especially since the constitutional right to protest is one of the cornerstones of democracy. Brutal pacifications, on the other hand, are the domain of totalitarian systems. Such behaviour reminds us of the communist era. I personally demonstrated as a student and sometimes got bludgeoned under communism. This is not a civilised way of conducting conversations. There have been no such scenes on Polish streets for the last 8 years. Although anti-government protests, often inspired by the current 13th December coalition, were not lacking. I wonder what today's ruling coalition would say if then such methods, brutal as they were used against farmers, were used against the demonstrators they rallied. At the time, the police did not react even to the most vulgar provocations. And there was no shortage of these, including from politicians of the then opposition and now the 13th December coalition. A state that, when it disagrees, reaches for the truncheon, handcuffs, hand-wringing, beating. Instead of talking, even in a dispute on the street, turns into a grim caricature of values, whose mouth is full of from morning to evening. Today they call the baton, handcuffs and beatings smiling democracy. I don't treat them like farmers, I treat them like hooligans. A bunch of provocateurs are throwing cobblestones at Polish policemen, and you are attacking the Polish police. This is how the 13th December coalition defends decisions imposed by Brussels against the will of many Poles. When we speak to these technocrats in Brussels with facts arguments, they are not accepted. Hence the fear that the brutal pacification of protests is only a foretaste of how the authorities will treat citizens of the centralised European state being created before our very eyes. In the face of such violence, similar to that of communism, as heralded in Spinelli's ideology with the rest, in the face of such violence, it is necessary to build a movement of many millions, which will be as strong as solidarity once was. The farmers are not laying down their arms. They are already organising more protests. They are planning a nationwide strike for the 20th of March. They have announced a blockade of all provincial cities. They want to defend their farms until the end, that is, the abandonment of the Green Deal and a halt to imports from Ukraine.